History remembers the greats. But what about the overlooked? This is the story of Edward the Elder. Son of Alfred the Great, Edward inherited a kingdom locked in a struggle for survival against Viking aggression. Edward's reign was marked by relentless campaigns against the Vikings. He built fortifications, forged alliances, and fought with tenacity. Edward's story is one of grit and determination, of a king who led his people through a tumultuous era. He was Edward the Elder, the overlooked king who defeated the Vikings and laid the foundation for a united England. Edward was born into a world teetering on the brink. Despite the turmoil, Edward's childhood was one of privilege and purpose, groomed for leadership by his father Alfred. Alongside his sister Alfthryth, Edward delved into books, learning to read both religious and secular texts. Edward was trained in the art of war, learning to ride, wield a sword, and command men in battle. Edward's upbringing was influenced by the complex web of alliances in Anglo-Saxon politics. His mother, Ealhswith, was a Mercian noblewoman, connecting Edward to Mercia. Ealhswith instilled in Edward a deep sense of piety and the importance of Mercia. Family was the bedrock of Edward's power, shaping his understanding of the world he was destined to rule. As Edward grew older, his training intensified. Edward's first taste of command came in 893 at the Battle of Farnham, where he emerged victorious, proving his mettle as a warrior. This victory solidified his reputation as a capable commander. As Edward honed his skills on the battlefield, he observed his father's rule closely. A shadow hung over Edward's future. His cousin Ethelwold represented a rival claim to the throne. This rivalry would erupt into open conflict upon Alfred's death. Despite the challenges, Edward was ready to claim his birthright. Edward's path to the throne would be fraught with peril, a trial by fire that would determine the fate of Wessex and the future of England. Alfred the Great's death in 899 cast a long shadow over England. Edward's claim to the throne was immediately challenged by Ethelwold. Ethelwold believed he was the rightful heir, rallying supporters and seizing royal estates. The kingdom was teetering on the brink of civil war. For Edward, this was a baptism by fire. His claim to the throne rested on his ability to quell this rebellion and prove himself a worthy successor. Edward rose to the challenge, countering Ethelwold's moves with calculated precision. The first clash came at Wimborne, where Edward emerged victorious, forcing Ethelwold to flee. Ethelwold escaped to Northumbria, seeking Viking support. The Vikings saw in Ethelwold a pawn to use against the Saxons. Despite the ongoing threat from Ethelwold, Edward understood the importance of ceremony. In June 900, he was crowned king at Kingston upon Thames, demonstrating his commitment to continuing Alfred's legacy. The coronation was a display of power and legitimacy. Edward was determined to build upon his father's achievements. Edward's early reign was marked by a delicate balancing act. He had to contend with the ongoing threat from Ethelwold and his Viking allies, while consolidating his power within Wessex. Edward embarked on strategic marriages and alliances, securing the allegiance of Mercia. With Mercia as an ally, Edward could present a united front against the Vikings. In 901, Ethelwold, bolstered by Viking support, launched a raid on Wessex. Edward met Ethelwold's forces at the Battle of Home, where Edward's forces prevailed. Ethelwold was defeated, his rebellion crushed. The victory was a turning point for Edward. He had proven himself a capable warrior king. But the struggle for England was far from over. Edward turned his attention to the Viking threat. He implemented the burh system, a network of fortified towns. These burhs served as safe havens and bases for offensive campaigns. Farmers and villagers could seek refuge within their walls, denying the Vikings easy plunder. The burhs were bases for Edward's offensive campaigns. Edward's strategy relied on close cooperation with his sister Ethelflaed. Together they acted like a hammer and anvil, keeping the Vikings off balance. Edward's campaigns were characterized by meticulous planning and ruthless efficiency. He often struck at Viking settlements when they were least expecting it. In 911, Edward launched a campaign into East Anglia. The Vikings, weakened by internal divisions, were unable to resist. Edward's army advanced steadily, culminating in the capture of Tempsford. The fall of Tempsford marked the beginning of the end for Viking control in East Anglia. With East Anglia under his control, Edward turned his attention to the 5 boroughs: Derby, Leicester, Lincoln, Nottingham, and Stamford. These towns, located in the heart of England, were key to controlling the Midlands and represented a significant obstacle to Edward's ambition of uniting the English under his rule. The campaign for the 5 boroughs was a long and arduous undertaking, spanning several years and involving numerous sieges and battles. The Vikings, recognizing the strategic importance of these towns, fought tenaciously, but they were no match for Edward's relentless pressure and his growing network of burhs. One by one, the 5 boroughs fell to the Saxons. Derby was captured in 917, followed by Leicester later that year. In 918, Lincoln submitted to Edward, and Stamford and Nottingham soon followed. The capture of the 5 boroughs was a turning point in Edward's reign. It marked the effective end of Viking dominance in southern England and cemented Edward's reputation as a great warrior king. Edward's victories against the Vikings were not simply military triumphs, they were the foundation upon which he built a New England. With each captured town and fortified burh, he extended his authority, creating a realm that stretched from the English Channel to the Humber River. His reign was marked by a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity. With the Viking threat contained, trade flourished, and the arts and learning, which had been nurtured under his father, experienced a resurgence. Edward, though a warrior king, understood the importance of these things in consolidating his power and securing his legacy. Edward's achievements were not solely his own. He relied heavily on the support of his family, particularly his sister Ethelflaed. Their partnership was a testament to the strength of family bonds and the effectiveness of their coordinated approach to warfare and governance. Together they laid the groundwork for a united England, a kingdom that would reach its full potential under Edward's successors. Edward's relationship with Mercia was complex, defined by ambition and family ties. Edward recognized Mercia's strategic importance from the outset. A friendly Mercia allied with Wessex could resist Viking aggression. Alfred's marriage strategy bound the kingdoms through family ties. Edward inherited and strengthened this alliance. Some argue Mercia retained autonomy, with Ethelflaed ruling as queen. Hey guys, wanted to take a break really quick and say thanks for making it this far into the video. If you're enjoying the video thus far, how about hitting that like and subscribe button? Would truly appreciate it. Now, on with the video. Edward's political achievements extended beyond the battlefield and the construction of burhs. He understood that true power lay not just in military strength, but also in the establishment of a stable and effective administration, one that could maintain order, collect taxes, and dispense justice throughout his expanding realm. One of Edward's key challenges was to consolidate his control over the territories he conquered from the Vikings. These lands, often ravaged by war and accustomed to a different system of governance, needed to be integrated into the Anglo-Saxon fold. To achieve this, Edward relied on a combination of pragmatism and strategic appointments. He recognized that alienating the local populations, many of whom were of Viking descent, would only sow the seeds of future unrest. He allowed many existing customs and laws to remain in place, as long as they did not conflict with his overall authority. At the same time, Edward appointed loyal followers, often men who had proven themselves on the battlefield, to key positions of power within these newly acquired territories. These men acted as his representatives, enforcing his laws, collecting taxes, and ensuring that the local populations remained loyal to their new king. Edward's reign, though marked by numerous military campaigns, was ultimately defined by a period of relative peace and prosperity known as the King's Peace. Edward reformed the legal system, codifying laws and establishing a more standardized system of justice. He styled himself as King of the Anglo-Saxons, promoting a shared identity among his subjects. Edward's relationship with his siblings was, like many royal families, a complex tapestry woven from affection, duty, and political expediency. Growing up in the shadow of Viking aggression forged a unique bond between them. a shared understanding of the fragility of their world and the importance of family unity in the face of existential threats. Among his siblings, it was his relationship with Ethelflaed, his elder sister, that had the most profound impact on his reign. Their bond, forged in the fires of their shared upbringing and tempered by the challenges of leadership, was the bedrock of Edward's success in consolidating Anglo-Saxon power and pushing back against Viking dominance. From a young age, Edward and Ethelflaed received a similar education, a testament to their father, Alfred's progressive views, and his recognition of their potential as future leaders. They were schooled in the arts of war and governance, learning to read and write, to ride and fight, to negotiate and to command. This shared upbringing fostered a deep mutual respect and understanding between them, qualities that would serve them well in the years to come. Edward and Ethelflaed's shared vision formed the basis of a remarkable partnership, one that would alter the course of English history. They recognized the strengths of their respective kingdoms and the importance of coordinating their efforts to maximize their impact against the Vikings. While Edward focused on consolidating his power in the south and east, pushing back against Viking strongholds in East Anglia and Essex, Ethelflaed secured Mercia's western borders, constructing burhs and extending her influence into Wales. Their campaigns were coordinated, their strategies aligned, their trust in each other absolute. Their partnership was not simply a matter of military strategy, it was also a reflection of their deep personal bond. They exchanged letters and messengers, keeping each other informed of their plans and offering advice and support. They celebrated their victories together, their shared triumphs, strengthening their resolve and reinforcing their commitment to their shared ambition. However, even the strongest of bonds can be tested by the harsh realities of power and succession. Ethelflaed's death in 918, at the height of her power and influence, cast a shadow over Edward's ambitions. Her death raised the question of Mercia's future and the potential for discord to disrupt the fragile unity that Edward and Ethelflaed had so carefully constructed. Edward, faced with a difficult choice, opted for a course of action that reflected both his pragmatism and his ambition. He moved swiftly to assert his authority over Mercia, effectively absorbing the kingdom into his own realm. While some historians view this as a betrayal of his sister's legacy, others argue that it was a necessary step to prevent Mercia from falling into chaos and to preserve the unity that Edward and Ethelflaed had fought so hard to achieve. Edward's relationship with his siblings, particularly his partnership with Ethelflaed, played a pivotal role in his success as a ruler. Their shared ambition, their trust in each other, and their coordinated efforts laid the foundation for a unified England, a kingdom strong enough to withstand the Viking threat and usher in a new era of Anglo-Saxon dominance. Edward the Elder died in 924, his reign cut short at a time when his kingdom was on the cusp of even greater things. He died not in the heat of battle, but from illness. His passing marked the end of an era, but it also ushered in a new chapter in the story of England. Edward's greatness lay in his quiet determination, his unwavering commitment to duty, and his ability to inspire those around him. He was a king forged in war, building a stronger, more unified England. Edward's greatest achievement was creating a sense of shared purpose among the Anglo-Saxons. He inherited a kingdom fragmented by Viking incursions and regional loyalties. Through military prowess and political acumen, Edward forged a united England. His burhs became symbols of this newfound unity. They were centers of commerce, fostering a shared identity. Edward's vision expanded Anglo-Saxon authority, creating peace and prosperity. His reign saw the emergence of a new English identity, transcending regional divisions. Edward the Elder's reign was a time of profound transformation for England. He inherited a kingdom on the brink, threatened by Viking aggression and riven by internal divisions. He left behind a realm united, prosperous, and confident in its own strength. His victories on the battlefield paved the way for a period of unprecedented peace and stability, allowing Anglo-Saxon culture and learning to flourish. His successors, building upon the foundation he had laid, would go on to complete the unification of England, creating a kingdom that would dominate the British Isles for centuries to come. Edward's son, Aethelstan, would become the first true king of all England, his reign marking the culmination of the process that Edward had begun. Edward the Elder may not be as well known as some of his more famous successors, but his impact on English history is undeniable. He was the warrior king who defeated the Vikings, the architect of Anglo-Saxon unity, and the founder of a dynasty that would shape the destiny of a nation. His story is a testament to the power of determination, the importance of leadership, and the enduring legacy of a king who, though often overlooked, deserves to be remembered as one of the greatest rulers in English history. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.